Hello, welcome all. So today's topic is what are the mandatory compliances for the specified securities which are listed on IFSC stock exchanges. That is either NSE International Exchange or India INX, that is India International Exchange, which are situated in the gift city. Okay, so in this video, I'll walk you all through with the quarterly mandatory compliances and few mandatory compliance which you should keep in mind when your specified securities, this which includes the equity shares and the securities which are convertible into equity shares. That is debt securities which are convertible into equity shares and the preference shares which are convertible into equity shares. So be in the video until the end. One more thing, I have also prepared a separate video for the few important points which you should keep in mind when you wanted to list your securities on the IFSC stock exchange. I have mentioned the link in the description box. Further, I am preparing the daily knowledge series shorts which will help you to enhance your knowledge as well as brush your knowledge. So if you haven't subscribed my channel yet, please subscribe it. And I'll make a separate video on other event-based compliances for this securities listed on this IFSC stock exchange. So don't forget to subscribe my channel and click on the bell icon so that you don't miss any important video. Let's start. So first, Regulation 89 of the IFSC Listing Regulations 2024. So this all regulations are coming from the IFSC Listing Regulations 2024. Regulation 89 is for the board meeting intimation. Now this board meeting intimation covers if you wanted to declare your financial results or dividend, etc. So there are few points for which mandatorily advanced board meeting intimation has to be given to the stock exchanges. So the timeline is 2 working days. Here the word is working days, which excludes the intimation date and board meeting date. Don't miss that. Here word is 2 working days. Here the meaning of working days means the days on which the stock exchanges are working. If the stock exchanges are not working on Saturdays, Sundays, then it will not consider as working days. So you have to give advance intimation at least 2 working days before the date of board meeting. Okay. Next, Regulation 90, AGM or EGM proceedings. That means GM proceedings. Post completion of your general meeting, either in annual general meeting or extra general meeting, you have to submit the proceedings of the meeting. That means summary of that meeting to the stock exchange immediately. Okay, here the meaning of the immediately for whole this regulation, that is whole listing regulations, means promptly, that is at the earliest, but not later than 24 hours from the occurrence of that event. Okay, so that means wherever the word immediately is written, you have to assume that you have to give the details or for that at the earliest, but it should not be delayed by more than 24 hours from the occurrence of that event. For example, the general meeting ended say on 5 p.m. On today. So you have to submit the proceedings at the earliest, but not later than the 5 p.m. of the tomorrow. Okay. Next, Regulation 95. This is shareholding pattern. This is the quarterly compliances. The timeline is within 15 days from the end of each quarter. Okay, so if for the quarter ending on 30th June, you have to submit this by 15th of July. Okay, so this is quarterly compliance. The format is provided by the stock exchanges. This is IFSC stock exchange, and you have to submit in that format and upload on the stock exchange portal. Next, Regulation 96. This is for financial statement. Okay, this is all the quarterly compliances for first 3 quarters. Okay, now here the meaning of financial statement depends on the home jurisdiction of the company. For example, in India we are following the financial year from 1st April to 31st March, but in the foreign countries there may be the financial year starting from 1st January to 31st December. So you have to adopt the financial year basis on their home jurisdiction. So for the first 3 quarters, the timeline is within 45 days from the end of the quarter. So for India, we can consider first 3 quarters, that is April to April to June, then July to September, and then October to December. For this 3 quarters, we have to submit within 45 days of end of quarter, and for the last quarter, the financial statement goes for the audited and consolidated financial statement for the whole year, and for that the timeline is within 3 months from the end of financial year. For example, for financial year ending on 31st March, you have to submit within 3 months. That means it comes to 30th June, and for the financial year ending on 31st December, it comes to 31st March. Okay, here also you have to submit the financial statement immediately post it's approved by the board of directors. But at anyhow, you have to conduct the board meeting and take approval of board of directors within this timelines, 45 days or 3 months. Okay, depending upon the situation. Coming to next. Regulation 97, annual report. So this comes once in the year. The timeline is immediately after finalization. That means once the annual report is approved by the board of directors, you have to immediately submit that annual report to the stock exchange. Next, regulation 19(8), statement of deviation and or variation. This is again quarterly compliances, and this is applicable only in case if the money which is raised is not fully utilized for the purpose for which it is raised. Okay, so in that situation, you have to give this statement of deviation variation within 45 days timeline. And this is quarterly compliances, and once it is reviewed by the audit committee of the company. Okay, now coming to next, regulation 102, voting results for the general meeting. Okay, so e-voting is mandatory for that, and within 2 working days from the conclusion of the general meeting, you have to submit the voting results to the stock exchange. Okay, here general meeting includes EGM as well as AGM. Regulation 103, whistleblower mechanism for the directors, employees and others. So this is a compliance. You have to maintain the whistleblower mechanism in your organization as per for this compliance of this regulation. Next, regulation 104, website. So company should have the functional website, and the details which are mandatory to be published on the website are details of the business of the company, then directors, KMP, compliance officer. Here the compliance officer meaning has same as per SEBI LODR regulation. That means a company secretary can only be appointed as a compliance officer. Then financial statements of the company, annual report, then email ID for the grievance redressal. So this must be the part of the website. This things you must have to publish on your website. So if you compare with the SEBI LODR regulations, there are very lesser number of compliances, mandatory compliance which are required as per the IFSC listing regulations. I am going to prepare the next video on this event-based compliances. Stay connected for more videos.